Hi, I'm Chris Matthew, N7ICE, and you're watching HamBrief TV. This is episode 44, D-Star in Space. Well, we've been doing this for almost a year, coming up on a year, HamBrief TV. And if you've been following me on a regular basis, you know that I really enjoy talking about D-Star and satellites. This episode, I'm happy to tell you, is a mixture of both because we're talking about D-Star in space. That's right, you heard it, D-Star in space. You know, if you follow AMSAT and you look at the amateur radios that are flying around space right now, a lot of CubeSats, a lot of exciting things you can do today in the amateur radio hobby with satellites. Well, there's a new type of nano satellite that is you're able to buy for about $8,000, build it yourself, and it can get launched on a small carrier into orbit, low orbit. They only last about a year, but there's a mission called Vega that's scheduled to launch in October 2010 that will be carrying a D-Star satellite. Now it's its code name for the D-Star satellite, I can't pronounce it, it's an acronym. It's OUFTI-1. So if you just Google that, you'll see lots of interesting articles about the team building this D-Star satellite, and it's from what I understand, it's about 10 centimeters cubed. Fairly small satellite, but it will be true D-Star, VoIP, flying around the Earth's orbit and tracked via AMSAT, just like all the rest of the amateur radios out there. The rocket that carries it up is called Vega. And Vega is an interesting type of satellite. It's a satellite deployer. It pushes projects up in space. And Vega is basically a rocket that has 4 stages, and it's about 30 meters tall by about 3 meters wide. So unmanned, obviously. And the science is getting to the point where, you know, as a business, we're able to launch these types of rockets with low costs. So you too can own your very own satellite for about $8,000. It'll fly low orbit and it'll burn up in about a year. But how cool is that? Very cool. So we have some footage of Vega. I'm going to go ahead and show you a simulation of how that works, and with a series of videos, and you can see kind of basically how the various stages separate, as well as how the nano satellites get deployed in space, and then ultimately how they orbit the Earth. So very cool. I can't wait till October 2010. I know that's a year away, but I think we'll be seeing lots more about this particular project. Very excited about it, as I'm sure most of you that are into D-Star are as well. So let's take a look. So in preparation for the D-Star satellite, you ought to start playing around with the satellites that are in space today. Like the AO51, that's my favorite. The VO52 is also a really cool one, however that one requires a single sideband. The nice thing about AO51 is you can just use some basic FM, VHF, UHF, dual band HT, and your Arrow or your Elk handheld beam antenna, and talk to your heart's delight. So go to amsat.org, take a look at the paths of those satellites, and plan out your day based on when the satellite is overhead. And remember, the greater the angle, the better chance you'll have to talk through that satellite. I know from Phoenix here, I have buddies that have talked all the way to Hawaii on just a little HT, little handheld radio, and their satellite beam antenna, which is just really just a dual band Arrow handheld aluminum beam. So get your practice out on AO51 and VO52, and that way when the D-Star satellite launches fourth quarter 2010, you'll be ready. Well, until next week, thanks for joining us on HamBrief TV. I hope you sign up for 73s.org and join in on the conversation. Till next week, 73s.